A reading from St. Matthew's Gospel, chapter 12. The Pharisees went out and conspired against Jesus, how to destroy him. When Jesus became aware of this, he departed. Many crowds followed him, and he cured all of them, and he ordered them not to make him known. This was to fulfill what had been spoken through the prophet Isaiah. Here is my servant, whom I have chosen, my beloved, with whom my soul is well pleased. I will put my spirit upon him, and he will proclaim justice to the Gentiles. He will not wrangle or cry aloud, nor will anyone hear his voice in the streets. He will not break a bruised reed or quench a smoldering wick until he brings justice to victory, and in his name the Gentiles will hope. In many places in the Gospel books, Jesus orders not to publicize his works of healing and exorcism as in today's Gospel. He taught people publicly, but it was not street corners and marketplaces where he gathered people for teaching and healing. We don't see any examples that Jesus chose a busy place such as marketplaces or busy street corners and started advertising to gather people. On the contrary, he used to avoid the public spotlight. Rather, people followed him. It seems his favorite place was deserted places such as an empty lakeshore and a hilly wilderness. When he caused deeds of power such as reviving a dead, he wanted only a few disciples to witness while removing crowds. This was what Isaiah the prophet foretold, nor will anyone hear his voice in the streets. And I believe this prophecy is still valid in our times. The voice of the Lord is not heard in our streets. Rather, people avoid his message in the public sphere. Christ does not work for success. He does not work for fame. He does not work for popularity. He does not work to build a perfect social system. He does not work to devise the most efficient economic system. But Christ still works silently in many people's lives. He still consoles the downtrodden. He still heals the wounded and hurt. It is still true that he will not break a bruised reed or quench a smoldering wick. In our society and world, there are still lots of those Gentile people who long for hope, and Christ is still their hope. Whoever looks for truth and wisdom find Jesus, and they follow Jesus wherever he goes. Often I fall into the temptation that makes Christ a ruler of this world. It's because it feels easier, and it's because it is harder to be like Jesus. He asks us to be like him by healing our wounded relationships and consoling the marginalized. Charity in meekness and modesty is surely a fruit of the Holy Spirit.